painters. This is Keith from the PK's Network. Well, today since we still don't got that many any followers, we'll go ahead and start on this one here. So there's nobody to tell me what to do and stuff. So hey, this is my great time. So, but let me start off by saying, has any of y'all thought it was been strange of seeing people walking around in public in their pajama bottoms? You know, I know when I was growing up, you never wanted people to know that you wore actual PJs. You know, especially if they came to your house. You always put on a pair of blue jeans or dress clothes and you did it. But now it seems like everybody's wanting to go out in public in it. Now, granted, it's probably a lot easier than trying to figure out what color socks goes with these pairs of pants and what shirt goes with these matches of pants and socks and shoes. You know, people like me, you just own a pair of blue jeans and a pair of socks, preferably the one with the least amount of holes in them, you know, and a shirt. You know, if it's hot outside, short sleeve, cold outside, long sleeve, and really cold outside, flannels. You don't have to wear a coat. You don't have to do anything. Sometimes it's good if you do, but not in all the cases. So, but like I was saying, I just got back from Lowe's, and if Pam was in here, she would say it's my brothel, because I love going to Lowe's, you know. So it surprises me when you're in there, you're in the lumber or electrical section, and you're choosing something that's going to help you finish your job. And at first it was the females. They would come in wearing their PJs, PJ bottoms usually. And at first it was the elderly women, you know, and then it went down to the younger women. But, you know, they didn't want to, since it wasn't one of their stores, they didn't want to take the time to get all dressed up, you know, brush their hair, put on their makeup, take a shower, underarm deodorant, brush your teeth, or any other things that they do. Perfume, you know. You're going into a men's store. Why do I have to look good? Because they're used to seeing a bunch of men in there. So, I can understand that part. And I probably agree with it on that part. But you still should wear pants and, you know, anything besides your night clothes. So, with all those women in there wearing their PJs, you know, I got thinking, boy, how many women have I slept with in the Lowe's store? You know, because, hey, granted they don't have no beds, you know, but they're wearing their night clothes, you slept with them, right? That's why I look at it. Well, so uh, so that with all of the, that was Pam. She was wondering who I was talking to, and but she don't want to be a part of this. PK's the other side. So, but like I was saying, they were having all these women coming in, and some of them actually knew what they were doing. But most every one of them, they had they was checking off stuff on their on a checklist, or they was on the phone asking who was on the other side what they needed. Now, usually, if I think I see them having problems, I will help them. But I don't think I've ever helped one that's is in night in their PJs, because for one, I don't want to laugh at them. So now, granted, a lot of the Lowe's, they've changed their locations and stuff, because where you used to go, the one in Athens here, they spent about 8 months changing how Lowe's look. The first time wasn't really that bad. The nuts and bolts, they were in aisle 1. You walk in the door and you go down, boom, boom, and you got it. Then, next one, they would have hinges and stuff like that, and then car parts, and then you got your paint and stuff, and then you keep on going down, and then you get your tools. And on the other side of one was the farm equipment, the lawnmowers and weed eaters and stuff. But then at the end was the wood products, the 2x4s, 2x6s, your sheetrock, and your plywood, and you would get all of those there. Because when a man walks in, when a man walked into Lowe's, he knew what he was going for, and he would go there, pick it up, go to the checkout, and pay for it, and leave, and go and fix whatever, finish what he was there for. They weren't the one that you walk in, you to the pick up a bolt and screws and say, "Hey, I think I may need this 2x4. I may need this toilet. I may need this carpet." We don't do that. At least they put the plants on the outside, so we don't even have to walk by them. That's where the wives usually goes. So that's their playpen. So, but they've tried to make it so that for you to get what you want, you have to walk by a whole bunch of other stuff. Like usually in the front to the one side, you got the tool section. You got your drills, you got your saws, you got your air compressors, you got your handheld drills, you got your all the parts that you need for it. You know, your jigsaws and stuff. And then they started moving those around, and they moved the air compressors out of that area. Well, most of them. They still got the big ones because they wanted to put them. If they tried to put them in the aisles, you couldn't get through. So they put the portable air compressors in. You know, a lot of the bits and air wrenches and stuff down that line. So I don't know. It's not like going to Walmart and you want to go to tools and you got to pass your laundry, detergents, your clothing, your book stuff, your television. Well, you might want to stop on the way to there to look at the new TVs. Okay. But you don't have to go through the entire store to get that one hammer. You know. But for them, but like I was saying, then men started wearing their, you know, just in the last couple of months, I've seen about 6 or 7 of them out there wearing their PJs. And hopefully somebody told them that you don't wear PJs to a man's work store. You know. But today I saw a couple. Yes, they were young. I dare say 21, 22. But then again, with me being as old as I am, I can't tell the ages. You know, they could have been 15 and 16. You know, but they was out and they had matching night pants, sleep pants, PJ pants, whatever pants you want to call them. And they was walking around holding hands. But the funny thing is, they weren't looking at what you would, most people in the hardware stores looks at. You know. Now, and there's a, you know, they're not looking at it. AC breakers. They're not looking at the wiring. They're not looking at piping. They were over there in the girls. I won't call it the girly section because they were looking at overhead lightings with fans. You know, yeah. Sometimes you got, if you're going to replace one, it's good to do it, but you don't sit there and look at them. You know what you got when you first go in. You go up there, you say, "Oh, okay, that's about the right size." How many bulbs is there? Which type of bulbs? You know, because there's some out there that, you know, I had one where it looked fantastic for about 10 years. And it looked like it was sci-fi. Well, after about 10 years, the bulbs went out. I can't even get the bulbs online. You know. And if you do, well, the one I ordered, it says there's 3 different types. You could get one with just the 2, one with a clip on one side, or one with the clips on both sides. You know, to make sure it's in right. So, and when I say clips, they were pin They weren't even the screw-in type. You stick them in, and you hit a click, and turn on the light. It works. If it don't work, you got the wrong one. So now you got to go pay to have it all shipped back because I couldn't find them at Walmart. So now I got a regular office fan and regular light bulbs. Okay. Well, I wouldn't say regular. They are LEDs, so, but they're the 75 watt LEDs, and I reckon these are the magical ones. Supposed to be 120 watt, 150 watt, 100 watt, 500 watt of the old style. But you know, man, I don't know what aluminums are, so I can't help you there. If I can see, it's the right one. If I can't see, when I turn on the lights, it's not the right one. If it's a 25 watt, saves me money. But if I can't see, give me 100 watt. If I can't see, give me a 150. You know, and if I have to, I'll put up floodlights. So, but that is pretty much everything. Oh, and back to the Lowe's thing. After they did their 8 months of redoing the store, I got a Lowe's in Most of the Shoals. I got a Lowe's in Decatur, and I got a Lowe's. Well, I got one in Madison. We used to have one in Huntsville, but I think it moved to parts where I don't even go in. I didn't go, but everybody talks about it, so I know they got one. But their company wanted to make all the Lowe's look alike, and since the one in Athens just finished theirs, you figure that was the way it's going to be. Well, over my time, we went to most of the shows and stuff, and we stopped off and saw theirs, and didn't stop off and look. I stopped off and we bought stuff. Okay, so, and when they got done, it took them about a year for that store to get done. It looked nothing like the one in Athens. So, and they said, well, the Athens supposed to look, well, after that, Athens started changing theirs, and sure enough, they changed theirs to be like all the other ones, where you can't find nothing. I do know where the lumber is. I do know where the tools are. I do know where I forget what they call it, the washer dryers, the appliances are. I know where they are. And I know where the garden section is. And over the time, when they, according to the season, is whether or not how the lawnmowers and stuff looks. Now I do know where they put all the Christmas decorations in 1st of August. And then they also split Christmas up with Halloween. So I don't know why they don't do the Halloween in August, and then when Halloween is over, leave it blank and stuff, and then after Thanksgiving, make it Christmas. No, they want to make it. You know how they do. It's 100 days before Christmas. It should say it's 100 days before Lowe's starts decorating for Christmas, and you might get it started in July. But, but I do know a lot of people that works there that they're the greatest because I go in and I even had two of them tonight ask me why I haven't been there so long. I said my wife wouldn't bring me. She don't like my brothel. And at first they didn't know what to think. I go, this is my brothel. This is where I go. And everything. And I told her, I said, I got a 4x4 pressure treating pole that y'all could dance on, but I never see anybody on it. And then they understood what I was making fun of. But they changed locations where they work, and about the time you get to know where they're at, they change. So when you're out in town at Walmart in town, see if you are willing to ask those people why they're wearing their PJs. And yes, I have. And they say it's comfortable. Yes, it is comfortable. Or was you too lazy to change clothes and get out there so people could actually see you? So you look like a normal person. I don't know what others think, but it's me being brought up in the South. I know what you're supposed to wear and not to wear in public. I'm waiting to see them wear those see-through nighties out in public. You don't see them wearing those now, do you? But if they did, I wouldn't complain. I would enjoy it, but so what's the difference between PJ pants and those type of garments? I don't know. So when you find out, let me know. But hopefully you won't get to see them very much. Hopefully they'll get their heads on their shoulders and realize how stupid they look. I know I'm going to get fussed at and everything because that's just my opinion. So that's the other side. I gave you the one side why they do it. Then I give you the my side, which why they shouldn't do it. So again, this is not a movie critique, and I'm sorry. Hopefully, my executive producer will get that straightened up. So I just click on a button and it could go to either one. Okay. Good night and take it easy.